Welcome to B2B Marketing Unlocked, the podcast that helps CEOs, business leaders, and marketing executives unlock brand growth. In each episode, I bring on industry experts to share their journeys, lessons learned, and the marketing secrets that drive results, while also sharing my own strategies along the way. I'm your host, Jony Mansilla, founder of Jony Studios, where we help businesses create profitable podcasts and content that drive growth. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to another episode of B2B Marketing Unlocked. Today we have Dyana Quinlivan, the Senior Director of Marketing at SDocs. Dyana, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so I want to jump right into this. Why don't you tell me how you got into B2B marketing?
How did I get into B2B marketing? It kind of is where I landed right after college. I had a couple of great internships when I was, at university. And one of them was with a large company at the time was First Data. They've since been acquired by Pfizer, but a payments company.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I graduated, I went into B2B SaaS at a startup. So I spent many kind of years early in my career at B2B SaaS startups and working on the agency side for B2B companies with ABM activations. And it was great because I got to try a little bit of everything. When you're at a startup, you wear a lot of hats. So you're doing paid media campaigns, you're doing content writing, you're doing strategy, even some sales follow-up.
Yep, a lot of relevant all-around experience. Eh?
Yeah.
And then that brings us to your current role. So tell us about your current role right now at SDocs and what SDocs is.
Yeah, I head the marketing department here at SDocs. We are a document automation platform. So we help businesses, take the work out of their paperwork. And I kind of oversee the entire marketing function from go-to-market strategy, demand gen, product marketing, product launches. So a lot of fun that we have over here.
That's amazing. And what does your marketing team currently look like? Like, is it just you or do you work with multiple people?
Yeah, we have 5 people on the marketing team total, but then we also work quite a bit with some different agencies that I kind of look at as an extension of my team. We are always like everybody trying to do more with less. So making sure that we have the right partnerships, whether it's a contractor that's coming in and helping us out with our sales enablement and helping create some of those materials, or, design resources are another one that we don't keep in-house, but that we make sure that we have, a really nice bench of designers that we work with and really understand our brand and our message.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm seeing that as a trend because sometimes you can't be the best at everything, right? So working with partners is actually a great way to be like, let's bring someone that's specifically focused on this one thing in terms of marketing, and then that can kind of help the entire process run. Right.
Yeah. And then and especially I think too with a lot of agencies. So for paid media, that's another one that we do not do in-house.
Mhm.
And they have the ability to pay for a lot of tools that, we don't have to pay for then because they're buying an agency subscription and they're paying for it for all of their customers. And we're able to get those great insights from the tools without us actually having to have that as part of our tech stack.
And what makes you choose a certain agency over the other? Is it usually through word of mouth, networking, or do you guys just do a lot of research and see who can produce the best results?
I always want to, talk to a few people. The ones that we work with, some of them I've worked with before at other companies,
Mm.
or I know that they have like the deep product knowledge. So they've worked in the document generation space before, which is, can be very different. It's not document management. So when we're first kind of trying to get, especially anybody that's going to be writing on behalf of the brand, I need to make sure that they have some industry knowledge there already. So those are
Mm.
kind of relationships that I've, gathered over the years. And those are people that I can really trust to know our story. And then there might be, some recommendations too that we kind of get sent our way.
That's a great note. They have to know the product, right? The more they know the product, the better they can actually deliver the services, right?
Yeah, and we have had some, successes and failures there. Well, where we bring somebody on and then you're going through so many different rewrites because they're not actually getting the message quite right.
And you can't avoid that too, right? That's life. You have to go through different iterations, and some people are a better fit than others. Um, who are you currently trying to reach right now for S-Docs? Like, what is your target market, would you say?
Our target market is really IT leaders, but also kind of RevOps and business operations professionals.
Awesome. That's good. That's good to know. And with IT leaders, what have you found is best that's actually working right now in terms of driving pipeline?
Oh, in terms of driving pipeline, I think for us, we have a lot of different strategies kind of
Mhm.
in play. We've been working more kind of on our compliance angle with the IT leader. So that's definitely something, and security, especially in the Salesforce ecosystem, is a very big point of topic, especially in the past year. So knowing that we have some of the highest security certifications out there, those are things that we kind of lead in some of our messaging. So whether it's from an
Nice.
outbound perspective or even through a lot of our inbound content that we've been making.
That's amazing. So it's a lot centered around security, making sure that they know that the product is secure and compliant with current tools they're using right now.
Yeah, and
Correct?
our product is different in that we help a lot of businesses to be compliant. So to
Mm.
make sure that all of their documentation is compliant and that they have the right paperwork flows. So whether it's we work with a city actually. So whenever somebody gets arrested, they need to get all of the paperwork submitted within 24 hours, or else that person could go free.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is a really important thing to make sure that not only do they have speed for that document generation, but that they have the right paper trail. All of the documents are being submitted accurate and on time.
Oh, so it's
So when
very high stakes in some senses, right?
Yeah, some of these documents are very high stakes. And then
Mm.
other ones can be really fun, like gift receipts or gift cards.
Nice. So it's the whole spectrum,
Yes.
right? And you say you're kind of putting a lot of content into security and that sort of topic. Is there any specific content that is working really well in terms of like, are you guys doing webinars or is it social media posts, video, audio? What do you find is um, what you're currently trying to maximize and what's working the best?
Yeah, we did a state of report this past year, and that's really been working well for us in terms of kind of conversations getting started and being able to use that in a variety of ways. So we've kind of taken it and used it on social as well.
Nice. And do you gate that or do you not gate it? This is an ongoing topic with a lot of the people on the
It's
show.
always ongoing. We do have it gated, but I will say we've kind of made a lot of follow-up blogs and graphics that give away a lot of the content for free, and then people can go ahead and gate it if they desire to.
That's a great approach,
So
actually.
and get the gated full research report.
Yeah. So then you still are giving it away for free, but the full you require some data. And what are you asking for? Are you asking just for like first name, last name, email, or is it a comprehensive like lead list where you're asking like budget and things like that?
We just ask first name, last name, email, and company. We do
Okay.
use enrichment tools, but we still have found asking for company is kind of crucial. So I think it also helps with some of the like spam submissions.
That makes sense. And what is your guys' like follow-up process once someone gets that report? Do they just go into the newsletter and then you guys have a process there, or do you guys do more like personalized outreach for every single person that gets the report? Because they might not be a right fit, right? But it's good
Yeah.
that they're downloading it.
Yeah, we do have MQL scoring set up within our HubSpot, so that will kind of take into account both fit and engagement metrics. But doing something like downloading the research port is not, they're not asking for sales to follow up.
Mm.
So if they are a really good fit or they've done some other actions, then maybe they will go over to sales and have kind of a customized outreach that the sales rep will do. Otherwise, they're put into an email nurture series where we'll follow up with kind of other insights from the report, or we've also taken that research and had it in a couple of webinars. So we have that as part of kind of that nurture email sequence.
Nice. Yeah, because I've noticed not everyone is ready to buy at like when they're first just curious, but
Oh,
you're
yeah.
still adding value with that report, right? That's really cool. So you said HubSpot lets you know how relevant of a lead it is automatically. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've worked to kind of build our MQL scoring. So we take into account different kind of fit metrics that we get from our intent provider. So how large is the company? Is it in one of our ideal, verticals? Where's the location of the company? What title does this person have? What department are they in? And that will kind of influence what their score is.
Nice. And the people that once you transfer leads to sales, where are those leads mainly coming from? Is it through form submissions on the website or through LinkedIn? Like, where do your hottest leads come from?
Definitely from our website, and also marketplace listings are really huge for us. So
Mm,
because we are an app on the Salesforce App Exchange and on the HubSpot Marketplace, that's where some of our best leads come from. We also have a free version of our product. So we'll get a lot of people that are kind of installing or doing a demo on the marketplaces that can turn into very strong leads for us.
nice. That's some great insight. That brings me to my next question. What tools do you guys rely on most? I know you said HubSpot, but on a day to day, your team, let me know the tools you use.
Yeah, for our team, it's HubSpot is our marketing automation software. We also are on the HubSpot CMS. So we try and use kind of HubSpot personalization. That's really big for us. We also have Outreach as our sales automation tool. So while my marketing team's not in there, my sales team is, which is very crucial for us in making sure that we have a really strong handoff. So we're constantly in there and making sure we're working with them on close loss sequences or on no-show sequences if someone books a demo. The other tool that we use quite a bit is Qualified. So we are using their AI SDR for kind of chat. And also, we use their intent signals to help out with
Oh,
kind of our outbound identification.
that's awesome. And qualified SDR AI, how is that going? So is that for the chatbot on your site? So if someone lands there, it just automatically is like, hey, like, can I help you with something? Is that what
Yep,
you're talking about?
yep, that's exactly what it is. So there is quite a bit of kind of coaching that you have to do with kind of any AI agent.
Hmm.
So we'll go in there, make sure that it's answering the questions properly, that we're getting the information that we need, and sales is getting it so they can properly follow up. But it also does a really good job of kind of booking meetings straight from the site. So people aren't needing to do the form fill if they're
Oh,
not
wow.
wanting to, gives a different route.
And have you noticed it increasing conversions?
I do think so. Yeah, I feel it kind of got a little bit stagnant, but once we first pushed it out, we did see a bigger push towards kind of our form or
Mm.
chat submissions rather than coming in through forms.
Yeah, because I'm always curious. Like these SDR AI tools are really great in theory, but I'm always curious: is it worth the extra investment to kind of narrow it down? And I think it's a yes, right? Because that's where everything's
Yeah.
moving. It's just like when it's put in real world marketing use, when people are landing on the site and engaging with it, how effective is it in saving time? You know?
I think it's all like any tool, it's what you put into it, what you get out of it. So
Mm.
you got to be monitoring what people are asking. I think when we had the old chat flows that were very if this then that, you we would just look at the chat um transcripts, and you could tell some people were just getting annoyed with the responses
Mm.
they were getting. So I think there's a lot less of that with the AI agent.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And can you walk me through a recent campaign from the conception to the results that was that you either learned something or was successful for you guys?
Yeah, trying to think of a good example there. I think one of our campaigns that we do every year, which has made it more successful, is really just our biggest event activations. So for us, knowing that, our main product does rely on our users having Salesforce, Dreamforce is really big for us. So we make sure that we kind of have a full court press there. We do a lot leading up to Dreamforce in terms of working with sales and our customer success representatives to make sure that we have the right people going to the event, but we're also know what of our customers are going to be there and use it as the ability to start some expansion conversations or even as a closing event.
Oh, that's great. So you go to this live event, and what is your strategy once you guys are there? Do you usually have a booth, or do you just go and kind of network, try to
Yeah,
collect
we have
addresses?
a booth. We have a booth. We also have, team on the ground that is there trying to network and making sure that we're kind of expanding on the conversations that we have. There's a lot of adjacent parties as well with our partners. So that's another part that's really important to us as a whole is just our partner ecosystem. And Dreamforce gives us the chance to really engage with our partners there as well.
Nice. And in your opinion, since you know about these events, are business cards dead? That's that's another question I like asking.
Oh my gosh. I don't think they are. I would like them to be. I don't carry business cards, and I'm really bad in that I have generic information on the one that I do leave at the booth for myself.
Mhm.
But I do know that for my sales team, they are still very reliant on their business cards, but we have had more people switching to, I think they're called dots, where you get one card and then it's like a I don't know if it's RFID technology, but you can just like tap it to a phone and then it'll pull all of the information that would have been on the business card for someone to save on their phone.
Oh, that sounds like it could be very convenient. Because I remember I've gone to quite a few trade shows as well, and business cards was always the one thing that you kind of had to carry around, write little notes on it, and then input it into your CRM afterward, right? But now the latest event I've gone to, people are just like, "Oh no, just like add me on LinkedIn here," and they'll just grab my phone, or I pass them my phone. So I feel like some people are still really using it, and some other people are just like, I don't want to carry anything around with me. So I'm just curious. That's why I
Yeah.
ask.
That's where we're at. Always that adoption curve and where everyone is.
Yep. And what is the biggest challenge you guys are facing right now?
I think, for us, it is kind of LLM visibility. So our biggest competitors are some very big names.
Mm.
So trying to figure out how can we kind of stand out in those AI search results and, against these companies that are much larger than us. But also, how do we defend kind of the website traffic that we are losing from people relying so much more on ChatGPT and Gemini for answers rather than, going to websites. So, like many people in the industry, we've seen a huge dip in our, website traffic and trying to understand how do we, fill it in.
Yeah, that's great, and I think that great answer, by the way, because I feel like a lot of people are going through that right now. That traffic dip and then trying to rank on AI search. And it's interesting because there's a lot of signals that it's the same from normal SEO, but there's also some extra things that you can do to actually um, make it more towards the AI to actually want to recommend you. Right. So like doing like a little summary and adding some certain things in the back end that can actually help you rank. But with so much competition, that's where it kind of gets tricky, right? Because like you said, the really big name brands are always going to dominate. It's just finding a way to how can you niche yourself into there, right?
Yep. And it's definitely more than just what's on your site anymore, too. Like with
Mm.
SEO, it was very much what are we doing on our site? What do we have control over? With AEO, there's a lot in terms of just is your brand being mentioned on top publications? Do you have trust kind of across the board? That they're looking
Mm.
at more trust signals than just, what's your domain rank?
Yeah, for sure. And what's your thoughts on? I know OpenAI is working on ad placements on ChatGPT. Like, do you think that's something you guys are going to want to experiment with, go more towards once it's live, or are you guys a bit skeptical of doing paid on AI search?
Um, I think it would definitely be worth putting some test budget towards. That's where people are going, and if those offerings are there, it's probably worth testing and seeing, for some of our main keywords that we're appearing there, especially if we're not from an organic perspective yet.
Yeah, I think it could end up being like the new Google Ads, right? I'll just be curious how, like, Google Ads is like sponsored post. I wonder how they're gonna implement it in AI, right?
Yeah. And knowing that Google Ads have moved a lot towards pushing people to use Performance Max campaigns. So rather than just, oh, you have your search campaign, now you have a Performance Max campaign, and it could show up in search, it could show up in YouTube, it could show up in Gmail. Is it going to start showing up in Gemini as well?
True. And out of all the campaigns you guys are doing right now, whether it's with the outside vendor agencies, paid, outbound, whether it's direct email, um, what would you say is the platform that's working the best for you? Like, are you guys running Google Ads, for example, to drive demos as well? Like, which one's like the biggest daily driver, the tried and true?
Well, our tried and true has really, been our website and what we've garnered from SEO along with those
Mm.
marketplace listings. So we do have Google Ads that are doing a positive ROI, but it's still not like the volume that we're seeing from those other
Wow.
venues.
And how long have you guys been putting effort in building your SEO on your website?
Um, I think there's been, a dedicated effort for probably the past 3 years, but we did undergo a really big, website transition, in August of 24.
Oh,
So
nice.
I think that's when we kind of really cleaned up a lot of things and went forward with a new strategy.
Nice. And let's talk about the SEO strategy you're currently using. Are you guys relying heavily on like blogs? And if so, how often do you guys post blogs? Or is it more like listicles? Or is it more just like company pages, making them more informative, mentioning competitors? Like, I know doing verses can be an interesting
Yeah,
hack, right?
and Versus is something we wanna be, implementing more as well. That's actually something when through our AEO, research we're seeing it really helps kind of with your rankings in AI as well, especially if people are looking for alternatives of your competitors. So I think for us, it's been, we have done a lot of blogs. Some of those are listicles as blogs, but product pages as well.
Nice. So you kind of have a mix all around of both.
Yep.
We'll do a quick fire round. What's a marketing resource, habit, or tool you recommend? Just in one word.
Consistency? I
C- Consistency. Nice. Who's someone who's recently influenced your marketing? It can be a celebrity, an influencer, or even someone you work with.
Mm, let's say someone I work with, Keith Bossier.
All right. And what's advice you'd give to your younger self?
To keep experimenting. I think that's always a good one.
Nice. I agree. Especially as a marketer, that's
Yeah.
so important. Diana, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. I really appreciate having you on here and for the insightful answers. Thank you so much. That's it for today's episode of B2B Marketing Unlocked. I hope you found valuable insights to help you grow your brand and scale with confidence. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Want to unlock the power of podcasting for your business? Visit JonyStudios.com. That's JONY Studios.com, where we help businesses create profitable podcasts and content that drive growth. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.